Question 50 is from Deputy Robert Troy.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach. Well, Minister, I'm seeking an update on the status of an application by St Cremen's National School in Multifarnham for additional accommodation, and I'm hoping that you come bearing good news after receiving such good news yourself earlier in the week.
Minister, follow that now.
No pressure. Thank you, Deputy, and thank you for raising the question. And I can confirm to the Deputy that the school to which he refers was approved funding in 2017 to provide a mainstream classroom, 2 resource rooms and a WC for assisted users. The project is devolved to the School Authority for delivery. This means that the school itself engages a design team to bring the project through the design stages and on through to construction. The School Authority recently submitted its Stage 2B report to my department for approval. This is the detailed design stage of the architectural planning process. The contents would be expected to be in line with the accommodation approved. However, in this instance, the accommodation outlined in the report exceeds that originally approved by my department. This has a consequential impact on funding. I understand that the school is offering to make some of its own funding available to offset the additional cost. The Stage 2B report will be fully examined by my department. Given that the accommodation approved does not coincide with that outlined in the report, this will also require a review of the school's long-term accommodation needs. This will be done as quickly as possible, and a decision will issue directly to the School Authority as soon as it is available.
Minister, you're spot on. In 2017, your department did make a grant available, and that's welcome and acknowledged. But part of the planning conditions at that time required an upgrade to the sewage treatment facility. So obviously, in order to meet their planning conditions, they had to go back in seeking additional works. They also needed to seek additional works, and they got additional approval for a leaking flat roof. And it was your department that advised them to put that in as part of the overall tender. Now, they did look for some additional space, an extra special educational room, an increase in the library space and a secretarial office. But the Board of Management and the Parents' Council are prepared to bear the costs of that themselves. So really and truly, there's no additional cost implications on the department. So what they're hoping for is that this can be accelerated, that they're ready to go to tender, and going on e-tenders, that'll take a month. Going through that has then waiting to get the contractor in place. They need to be in a position to commence the works early next year.
Right.
So when the school numbers increases next school year, they will be able to facilitate that increase. So I would ask that you would accelerate this process.
Minister.
Yeah, well, I think there's a piece of work here which is really, really important, is a reassessment of the school's long-term accommodation needs. So it will be required to ascertain the merit or otherwise of the school's proposal. And as you will be aware, over the last number of years, the decisions where to locate schools were based on demographic analysis, and the 42 new schools that were announced earlier this year would point to where we've increasing pressures in terms of population and demand. So it's important that this decision is done promptly, and I'll certainly speak to my officials and ensure that this happens. A decision will issue directly to the school as soon as this process has been completed.
I'll just make the point that we're talking about the increase because of a planning condition which they have to meet. I think you'll agree with that. And the additional accommodation they're looking for now is to increase their library, secretarial office and 1 special educational room. That's in total 27 square metres. We're not talking about a huge extension or anything like that. The Board of Management, the Parents' Council are going to absorb the cost of that additional. They're at 193 pupils now. They're going to 205. There's no question in terms of the need of what's required here. All we need now is hopefully for your department to follow through on the commitment in 2017, enable the school to go to tender, and I guarantee you, Minister, that the school will deliver the project within the budget that's been allocated, and it will be ready for the pupils, the increase in pupils that have already enrolled there in September 2019. So I would appreciate if you could use your good offices to ensure that this is accelerated.
Please.
Yeah, look, you've offered and made suggestions there, and I'll certainly relay them back to the conversations I'll have with my officials, and I'm happy to do that.